check.
Check.
Loud. All right, let's.
It was kind of loud when I said it, huh?
Fair conversation. Doesn't look bad.
Okay.
All right, that looks good. All right. Let's do a blank for spectral subtraction. Good enough. All right, 3 seconds. Yeah, that worked. Good dokey. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Chainsaw Bar. I'm your host, Mike, with
Madeline.
And we today will be discussing a movie in the theaters. We went and watched it last week.
Or the week before.
Irrelevant, but yeah. We went to see it in theaters because that's where you should see this particular film if you get an opportunity, because it is pretty incredible. And the film we're talking about today is the 2025 release Sinners. You have any thing you want to share about that? Or should I just continue with details?
I mean, I don't want to give anything away.
Actually, this is going to be just spoilers and talking shit about it because
Come on.
It's already been 3 weeks, man.
We're telling people to go out and see it in the theaters. We're going to give them a chance. Got to give them a chance. Now, if you've seen the trailer,
yeah,
then you know it's got the blues. It's got the vampires.
It's got that old-timey feel.
It's got that old-timey feel.
Because it's, set in the 30s?
It's, yeah, early 30s. I was 1730.
Just before World War II. Yeah.
32.
Yeah, because
in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. It's very intense. The violence is very violent. Other than that, like the soundtrack is amazing. They got a lot of flack for spending so much money on it, and then you go and you're like, well, music is very important to this movie. Of course, they'd have this amazing production quality.
Yeah, you're not going to see a musical, but you definitely feel like you're seeing a show with a very music-heavy influence.
You get that whole Robert Johnson feel, you know. So basically, kid's a son of a preacher, and a sharecropper, and a guitar player. And his cousins come back from the big city, Chicago, and they're twins, and they want to start a juke joint in this small town that's basically just for black people, because that's who lives there. And so they're kind of, you can tell that they're baddies.
Yeah, they're tough. They're some sort of badasses, not to be fucked with. People know who they are.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody there works on the plantation still.
No, not the plantation. They're sharecroppers.
They're sharecroppers, but they call it the plantation. They still call it plantation.
I don't remember that.
But they're all sharecroppers. They're all just still doing the same jobs they've done for generations now, sadly.
Yeah, but at that point,
they're making money off it. So it's their profit. So that's good.
It's probably more like a company store situation, and realistically.
A little bit, yeah, because that did come up.
That's how it was for sharecroppers, man.
Yeah, and that does come up in the later film when they're actually at the club.
And they tackle a lot of things. I mean, a lot of Southern superstitions and beliefs. The one woman is a hoodie, and I can't remember her name, nor am I going to attempt to pronounce it. But the beautiful woman who was in Lovecraft Country.
Janie Lawson, Perline.
No. The Hootie. Oh my god, give me your phone.
I don't know.
This is why you're not Google, girl.
Yeah, this is it. But I'm thinking it's...
No,
maybe not. Either way. Yeah. Amazing performance.
That's why I'm not going to try and pronounce it, because I will mispronounce it. I apologize. I think...
Yeah.
Wunmi
Mosaku. Yeah.
Okay.
38-year Nigerian-born British actress.
I just think she's wonderful. She was wonderful in Lovecraft Country. She was wonderful in this. So basically, everything goes awry, but they don't just stop there with like vampires. I mean, it tackles issues of racism, and yeah, in a big way. But also, like, everything is made clear. Like, if you'll be asking a question at a certain point, like, how come all these black people are singing The Rocky Road to Dublin? Like, how would they have ever heard that? And then it's cleared up. It's cleared up, and just, like, there's no loose ends.
Yeah, it's actually, it all comes together.
It all comes together.
Stay for the credits.
Stay for the credits, yeah. Some people missed a very important scene featuring Buddy Guy, who got up and... The people in the theater around us got up and left. Didn't stay for the credits, and they missed, like, a seriously important scene. And, like, Buddy Guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was impressive. That was well worth, like, us sticking around an extra, like, 2 minutes of credits to see, like, holy shit.
There's a whole other scene here. There's a twist.
There's a whole
twist that you did not even see coming. There's a bunch of twists in there. And I like it.
Yeah, that movie was fantastic. It was just like...
It's like I said, like, not just the production quality of the music, but, like, the sets, the effects.
The cast explanations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, the monsters are great.
Oh, yeah.
The main monster is fucking great. Fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, wow. But, yeah, definitely focus on the racism from the day, too, because it's like, wow. I think I was digging Wikipedia or something.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I read this crazy quote that was just, it kind of popped, and it made sense when I read it in relation to this movie. Like, when the one slave said this to, like, one of his, like, masters, like, what now? You treat me like an Irishman? And I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit. So, yeah. That's an interesting line.
Yeah,
I was like, oof.
That was also a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, for a long time.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing that kind of brought things together for that film for me. It's like, oh, yeah, that's right. The Irish were treated a lot, just about as bad as, like, slaves and, like, black people back then.
It wasn't chattel slavery, but definitely, mistreated.
Yeah, they weren't totally owned, but they were definitely indebted. So, yeah, that was an interesting quote. I was like, wow, that's insane. But, that film was awesome. The music was so good. Like, all the music scenes were just crazy.
Yeah. So if you like the blues and you like folk music, like we do, because we are very eclectic people, then you're really going to dig it. Just go out and see it. It's violent.
There's a few jump scares. Nothing crazy.
I jumped.
Yep, I jumped once for an odd scene, but there was. And then, like...
I jumped, like... I don't know that vampires can fly. I didn't expect that. I felt embarrassed about it afterward.
Yeah. But then you get to see them freaking Michael B. Jordan welding a fucking Thompson gun. That was the best.
Yeah, that was fun. So
that's something to look forward to in that film.
Yeah, he does a great job, and I've never understood how somebody can play their own twin. Especially like a one-on-one scene, like that had to take forever to film.
Yeah, that was like, and you're watching it, it's seamless. You don't even think about it.
Seamless.
It's just like, all right, that guy looks a lot like his brother. Who is that actor? Because I just went to kind of blind about that fact, but then I was like, oh wait. Then later, after the film, looking up later, it's like, oh, fuck, he played both guys.
Yeah, of course he did.
They almost felt totally different. It was so well portrayed. They're different characters.
Yeah.
Because it was like, Freaking Smoke. His character is way more dim, way more dark than his brother Stack. But I don't know. He went through some shit. That's where he went back and met them, Annie, and then all that shit went down at her little shop.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. So yeah, there's a lot in there. There's a lot of, trying not to spoil anything too much, but yeah, there's a lot. And man, that is a fantastic film. You definitely check it out in theaters. I'm probably going to go rewatch it one more time before it leaves theaters. I'd like to watch it people say you should watch it in IMAX, but we ain't got an IMAX within 150 miles, so we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Because I think North Atlanta is the closest IMAX theater, or Knoxville, and I'm not driving that way. But if you're lucky enough to do it, go check it out. Because, yeah, the music, it's got real slow. It's real slow. It's three chapters, sort of.
The pacing is slow, but you don't feel like you've wasted any time.
No,
you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, everything's filling, everything is happening, and it's just wow.
Yeah, seriously, for the first freaking third or half of the movie, there aren't any monsters. It's just them setting up to to start up their business.
Yeah, that's great, but it feels there's this ominous feel about it.
There is.
It's this is supposed to be a scary movie. What's going on here? When's something bad gonna happen? And then it's just not yet. No, not yet. Not yet. We'll let you know when it happens.
You know what's gonna happen, dude.
Yeah.
You know when the Native Americans show up.
Generally, that's a sign that something sus is going on.
Yeah, and they kind of subtly hinted at their racism toward Native Americans there too. Yeah. Where the guy shows up and is like, "Oh, they're chasing me," and of course the white people just automatically are like, "Oh, damn Indians."
Damn Indians. Yep. And then they actually use the Choctaw tooth, so that's kind of fun listening to them actually use the language.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's no ain't shit in hell that they probably understand much of what the hell he said to them, but that's kind of a fun fact.
Right.
But that's a spoiler. A little bit.
That's a little bit of a spoiler, but no, not quite.
Nah, you don't know what the context or when it shows up, so.
Yeah, but by then you'll kind of be like, I think
Yeah.
Let's wait and see.
Yeah, because you didn't figure it out till later. It was then I was explaining that. It's oh, that's right. Why didn't I see that? And there was that in that. But yeah, we'll save that for after this. But yeah, you didn't catch that part. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Did I not?
No, you didn't.
I don't remember not catching it.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, that's why. Oh, well. But, man. So far, fucking director Ryan Coogler? I got it right here. But can I pronounce it? Ryan Coogler. He's been knocking out some bangers. He's been on point lately.
Yeah.
He's his films have been pretty solid. Did the Creeds, did the Black Panthers.
So this is something really different.
Yeah, this in particular is
I'm gonna do a horror movie, fuck it.
Yeah. And then just fucking knocks us out of the park.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And got the music you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, pretty epic. It's been keeping on pace, with the fucking Minecraft movie, which is in theaters now. It's been right up there. I think it took one weekend. It took the box office and was number one. Then Minecraft took it back. But then Minecraft, I think the second week, dropped off 21%, whereas Sinners only dropped off 6%.
Mm.
So people are still going back and checking it out, and then word of mouth has been blowing it up. It's got real. If you ever watched the 80s movie Crossroads, it's got that kind of pacing. Slow, steady, and you're building up, but the pacing is just about the same kind of pacing.
Is that the one with Ralph Macchio?
That's the Macchio one. Yeah.
Totally different movie. They're both about a bluesman.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, go out and watch. I actually saw on the on Facebook on the Old Gods of Appalachia Fellowship Hall page, some of the, not the people. This is just for fans of Old Gods of Appalachia. It was somebody was like, okay, I get a lot of Old Gods vibes from this movie, and everybody was like, yeah, Yeah. So if you like that kind of thing, that kind of old-timey, scary story.
Yeah. 100%. That's some wicked shit. Yeah, the entire, even just the underlying part of where everybody's just like talking about haints and shit. And,
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's like,
It's like, yep.
Yeah, that's something to worry about.
I don't know what kind of haint that is.
It's like, yeah, that's a good description of what they're looking at and don't know what to describe it as. But
yeah, but I mean, just like all of the folk wisdom that the Annie character has, being a hootie and just being from like the deep south, like it's all like, yep, that's right. Somebody did their research or just knew their shit.
Yeah, that was. But let's see who else we can talk about here. Like Michael B. Jordan, fucking amazing. Like didn't even know those two people, one person. That was impressive.
Who's the kid who played the preacher boy?
No, the kid.
Has he been on a lot, or is he just an up and comer?
He might just be an up and comer. Let's see.
He did a great job. If that was really him singing and picking, Jesus, man.
Young Source Samian. Michael Caton. Michael Caton, Sinners, The View from 97. That's it? 2 films?
What the fuck? Where am I? Let's go to IMDb then, since they're not going to tell me the main character.
So he was a musical guest on The View in 2019.
Okay, so he really does sing and play guitar.
Okay.
Beautiful voice. I mean, his guitar playing is amazing. And pretty easy on the eyes, too. I was going to say. Pretty boy.
Oh, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Just skimming, like, related things. Apparently, Sinners' global box office milestone lands on major highest grossing charts for a horror movie.
Wow. That's awesome. And I'm totally here for all this black representation in horror that has been happening for the past few years. It's like, okay, it's about fucking time.
3 weeks in, that $240 million worldwide.
So the money that they spent, the $60 million or whatever on the music budget, totally worth it.
Totally worth it. So now it's between Resident Evil Retribution and Alien Covenant. So it's in 27th place, highest grossing.
Well, and those are franchise films. Those
are franchise, yeah. So like
that's
you
why
got
people went to that.
This is an independent, so it's damn slaying that factor. Impressive.
No pun intended.
But
Mike never intends the puns.
Never
That's
do.
me.
I don't like puns. But
you just did it anyway.
Anyway, like it had a damn crazy cast that Lee Jun Lee. Like,
yeah.
That was an interesting little side character setup. The Asian factor of the town was interesting.
And it's just that's the thing. It doesn't try to like change how history was. It's definitely a period piece, and in that time and in that area, yes, the Asian people would own like a couple of shops downtown in your small like one-horse town. I think
it's
that's just history.
Yeah,
and I like the fact that they didn't like try to play it like it was any different than it was.
Yeah, because like
so many period pieces we have today are like, yeah, but that wouldn't really have happened, especially when it comes to terms of race.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it would be nice, and I know that people still like the representation. And if you're doing something fictional, like what's the one everybody likes, Bridgerton?
Yeah,
but it's not a real.
Abbey.
I've never watched Downton Abbey, but I don't know if they do that. But I know Bridgerton definitely has like taken away some things with to do with race that were just like in that time period. It's like Edwardian or something. It was still pretty segregated.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the Asian factor, Grace Chow and Bo Chow, the husband and wife, those characters that was impressive and sad, but good. Then their daughter, Lisa, definitely set you up for the shop factor, because it's like, all right, they do have 2 shops in town, and it's kind of fun. And it's just like, all right, that's accurate, because there's always going to be like Asians working, because they came over and started working the railroads, and then they got money, and then they started setting up their little shops at what they specialized in, and boom, just genius. But yeah, those 2 characters, like Yao, Y-A-L, played Bo Chow character, and Lee Jun Lee played his wife, Grace. And Lisa had a little bit part. She did a walk across the street, which is fun. But it showed you the town, so that was a nice little shot, like one take shot, and that's kind of cool. But yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like love stories happening.
Yeah.
Throughout and like the human relationships with each other. I mean, like romantic love, and also the love between the brothers and the nephew and his dad. And just the what did you say their last name was? Chow?
Chow.
The Chow couple and their relationship with each other, and then with their daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the whole package, y'all. It's the whole package. Yeah. All right, on to the next.
Yeah, the way they factor that, the way they played the Chows and that's like, ooh, that's just wow. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It's an entire real bad guy play the way they play it, but it's just like, geez, I don't even know what your end game is here, pal. It's just like, wow, because I don't know what your end game is, bad guy, and it's just like that's the tricky part.
Back to the guy being chased by the Choctaws, and the one thing is when he knocks at the door and
back. Yeah, we can't let that happen. They can't damn spoil that. Jeez, man, that gives away too much.
Shit.
But let's move on. Check out Sinners in theaters.
Is The Gorge still in theaters?
The Gorge has not been in theaters. It's an Apple TV film. So you have to go on Apple TV, rent an Apple TV. Rent Apple TV for The Gorge, definitely, and Ted Lasso. So if you got a month off, pay the $14. I think they're like $14, $15. They're one of the more pricey packages, but it's Apple, so they can do that. But let's talk about The Gorge.
Yeah, I really liked The Gorge.
All right, we're done talking about The Gorge. That was pretty fun.
I'm going to go ahead and say Anya Taylor-Joy, because Mike's going to mispronounce her name again, does a great job. It's basically, it's a monster movie. Great effects, great monsters. You know I love my monster movies. But it's also very romantic, very action-packed. Basically 2 kind of
highly trained
operatives from different parts of the world. The guy's an American, the girl's Latvian, I remember. And they're sent up to be monitoring either side of this gorge that's between territories for a year.
It's a year. It's a year of duty.
Yeah, a year of duty, trying to, and it makes it pretty clear very early on in the movie. So I'm not really spoiling this. They're making sure whatever's in there doesn't get out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But in the meantime, and they're not allowed to have contact with each other. They don't have any contact with anybody except for like check-in on a radio. Yeah, I think
that was about it.
That's it.
The food gets dropped off.
No, they have a garden and can hunt.
And I think there's enough food in storage.
Right. They've got their distillery to make their own vodka. They don't even know where they are. Like, they're completely just dropped out there blind. They don't know who they're working for.
Yeah.
They don't know anything except for what they're told. And so then there becomes this whole thing, like, what is this exactly? why is it here? It becomes very political.
Yeah, because it definitely, there's definitely like their two countries are at arms about like it's a border spot.
Right. I don't want to spoil it. I just want to say if you like action and monsters and romance and corrupt governments.
And Sigourney Weaver's in it for a little bit.
And Sigourney Weaver's in it, and Mike has a lifelong crush on Sigourney.
So she'll pop in, I'll pop in. So there's that. But Miles Teller had a great performance. He seemed kind of blockish. I don't know. He's kind of a blocky dude. I liked his character, but I don't know. He was just a regular kind of guy. I don't know anything to describe him as. Blank canvas.
Yeah, I mean, it was just... He played that kind of guy. That kind of guy who didn't have any, anything to lose.
Levi.
Didn't, was ex-military, but didn't have any, family or anything he cared about. So, yeah, sure, why not? I'll just do this for a year.
That's a check, yeah. Real mercenary, basic.
Basic mercenary.
Yeah, but the gun battles were fun. The machine gun fights were awesome. Yeah. Special effects were cool. The creeping freaking dread was awesome.
Yeah.
So that was enjoyable. If you're into that thing, if not, then you'll probably say that was.
Then why are you listening to a horror podcast?
Yeah, then you done fucked up a. But anyway, yeah, that was a fine film. I liked The Gorge.
I liked it.
I'll probably watch it one day when we have damn Apple TV again. But yeah, The Gorge.
And speaking of Ted Lasso, why don't we talk about Colossal? Now that's a 2016 film that I never even heard of.
Until I wanted to see it. Put it on the note. Put it on the damn chalkboard too.
And why are you talking about Ted Lasso and Colossal? Because I can't think of his name. Sudeikis, right?
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis?
Yes.
Played Ted Lasso, and he's in Colossal, and he does an excellent job, and it's the least Ted Lasso-like character that you could imagine him playing. Alongside Anne Hathaway, who...
Oh, yeah, that's that one, okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And I want to say...
Described as a horror, action, kaiju, adventure, comedy, romance, dark comedy, Japanese movies.
Yes.
Yeah, is that pretty much...
Kaiju.
Boom.
Boom. And I want to... I love a kaiju movie.
Yeah, I know she does. That's why I kind of snuck this one in with the Anne Hathaway factor. But
yeah,
I was like, yeah, it's also a romantic thing, so there's that fun thing. And I'd like to sneak those in a little bit, but
is it
a little bit?
You might think so, and we're not going to tell you if it is or not.
Yeah, but it might be. But I don't know. I don't think it ended quite like a romance comedy would in normal ways.
Nope.
But it was fun.
It was fun. And I want to say Tim Blake Nelson, who y'all might remember from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? In fact, what was his character's name?
Garth.
Huh?
Garth.
But in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It was Delmar. Wow. This is such range. Like, to compare him to Delmar... His character is Delmar in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And Garth in Colossal. Like, there is a character actor with range right there. He did such a fucking spot-on job. It wasn't the biggest role in the film.
No.
But I was really, like, impressed.
Yeah, because, his character got top billing, but didn't really have the most time on screen, and then whatever. But yeah, that was his performance was fucking awesome.
But yeah, I mean, it was spot on, and the whole thing was just, I mean, it keeps you guessing what's going on. I mean, at a certain point, you figure out what's going on, but then there's something else going on, and then it's like, oh, this is spinning. This is just spinning and spinning.
How bad is this going to get?
It's going to get I have a feeling this is going to...
They're going to show up and then it's going to get ugly. They're going to change and get mean and ugly at some point.
There's going to be thousands of them. I can't remember what it actually says.
Can't
quote.
Can't perfectly quote the old frickin' time. No.
Galaxy Quest.
That's it.
As much as we've seen Galaxy Quest, we should be able to do that by now.
Yeah, but once you put on the spot, just fail.
No.
Absolute fail.
I knew what you meant, though.
Yep.
We knew what we meant.
And you probably do too, listeners. But yeah, that was a fun one. It was pretty Sudeikis. But real interesting character portrayal.
Now redact that.
That's dark. That's my definition of dark.
Okay.
He's just a depressed guy.
So we can redact what I said, but not what you said.
Yeah, we'll not redact any of it.
Damn, 15 degrees, I don't give a fuck. Just kiss my ass.
But yeah, he's a depressed dude. And you get that straight out. It's dark. Because, damn. And she's not like fucking them sunshine and rainbows either.
No, she's an alcoholic.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. That might be a trigger for you guys. So yeah, definitely alcoholism discussions and things. There's a spoiler about that. You should always have that note in your damn thing because a lot of people going through that. It's rough. But Colossal, what a film. That was interesting. I don't know if I'd like to see that in theaters, but I definitely like that.
I always like to see kaiju in theater.
Yeah, kaiju in theater. Yeah, that's fair.
Then you really feel like you're getting how big they are.
Yeah. But no, kaiju in theaters only.
Not only, but
Preferably. Preferable.
All right.
Did Colossal. That was a good name. Good segue. Well done.
Thank you. And you brought up Ted Lasso being on Apple TV, so it just worked.
Yeah, you just got it. All right. Let's see. I guess we'll jump into something else Japanesey. Easy squeezy Japanese.
It wasn't Japanese. It was Korean. It was Seoul. Remember?
Yeah. But...
Okay, kaiju in general. Yeah, okay. Mayhem?
Let's jump into Mayhem.
I didn't watch it.
Didn't see it.
Mike, jump into Mayhem.
2017's Joe Lynch directed Mayhem. Another horror comedy action film. Pretty thrilling, I'd say. Fun. So basically the main guy, played by... Let's look at the cast. Boom, boom, boom. Stephen Yeun plays Derek Cho, the main guy. Basic up-and-comer kind of guy in the corporate world that he's in. Struggling, grinding, gets a job, does deeds, makes it to the top, and thinks and starts to believe, I don't know how, yeah, fuck it, it's been out for years. Like, he gets backstabbed and gets sold down the river by, like, the upper management. The 9, as they're called. And then their henchling, like, second level person, played by Caroline Chikisi, as Kara the Siren. Yes, yeah. So she talks to, like, upper management guys, and yeah, pretty much awesome. There's a guy called the Reaper in it. His character's kind of fun. But basically, the gist of the thing is there's this infection. They're in a tower building, and they get quarantined by the government.
Oof. And
the government doesn't fuck around. So all these poor office workers are stuck with this. Think, what's that damn horrible TV show, that series that we don't watch? The one where everybody's killing everybody in one day a year.
The Purge.
The Purge. I think The Purge. Basically, everybody gets...
TV series?
It's not a TV series. No, it's a movie series. But may as well be. But yeah. Okay. So pretty much like The Purge happens, but this virus just releases all your inhibitions. Oh. And then pretty much you're just doing whatever the hell you want.
Your basest self.
Yeah. Or everything you want to do. And the trigger the tell is you get like pretty much pink eye in one eye, get big red eyeball.
Oh, okay.
And pretty much it's like that's how the virus gets there. I think it eventually burns itself out. But yeah, basically like this guy's law firm defended one of the first guys to get it and got him off the hook, saying that he was not legally liable for his actions because he was under a new virus that had no control, and he went and murdered like 2-3 people and did some shit. Okay. But basically, his law firm, the main guy, got the damn guy off. He figured out the loophole, and eventually they throw him under the bus.
Yeah, I mean that would be like, if someone was insane.
Yeah.
Right. That is a reasonable defense.
Yeah, and it worked, and now they're all up and coming. But yeah, basically thrown on the bus, and then their office gets infected. Somehow it just comes into their ventilation system, but never explains that. And basically, it's just pretty much like fucking purge madness, crazy. Do whatever the hell you want in the office. Everything's crazy. Because if you're depressed, you're going to be more depressed. If you're fucking happy, you're just happier. And it's just that kind of thing. And your inhibitions are off. And yeah, the upper management are fucking scum or just fucking weasels. And then people are just going to be more mean. And pretty much, yeah, that's it. And he's just like, fuck it, I got to tell the upper management, the 9, who have the power of the corporation, I'm being set up. This is bullshit. And he got fired. But before he got thrown out of the building, they got locked down. So now he's like, I'm going to go plead my case, and that's all I want. So he's cutting, killing, and slashing his way to the top 32nd floor, where he has to get 2-3 keys just to get through the top 3 levels, just to get to the 9. So, yeah. But,
fun. And for the record, I don't think either of us have ever seen The Purge, any of the Purge movies. So, I mean, I can't tell you if they're horrible or not.
Can't say. Don't interest me. Doesn't grab
probably me. Like on a social commentary level, I would probably like it. Because, I mean, I do like those kind of questions. Like, what would you do if you could do anything you wanted? I mean, for me, if I was in that situation, I would try to do something good. I mean, if I was like somebody who was good with computers, which I'm not, why not use the purge to go erase everybody's student loans?
Yeah.
Student loan debts. Hospital bills paid. Boom. I think there's a lot of better use of being able to do whatever you want than just be violent. It's a shame that most people probably wouldn't do that. I'm not going to start talking about the American government right now, but you know what I'm thinking. So y'all know I'm a liberal.
Yep. Yeah, we're fairly liberal here. But the counter to his co-conspirator in this is Samara Weaving, who plays Melanie Cross, who's just there pleading for her house for her client, and then the upper managers say, piss off, I don't care. You missed a chance or something really just dickish governments do to poor people.
Corporate bullshit.
Yeah. But she's played by Samara Weaving, an Australian actress who's recently been in the film Ready or Not, The Babysitter, Scream 6, Azrael, Snake Eyes, and The Valet. But
who was she in The Babysitter? Was she the babysitter?
I think she...
Let me see her face. I can't see at that inch.
She was B.
Yeah. Yeah, The Babysitter.
The Babysitter. So there you go.
That was a fun movie.
That was a fun movie.
All right.
But yeah, so good film, good cast. Mayhem, check it out. It's on Shudder, I believe, right now. So
yeah, it has been.
I think that was that's the reason I found it. I looked at it. It's got this crazy picture of the guy looks like he's in just a empty room sort of, but it's just an elevator. It's just him. Looking at it, it's just like, what's this guy doing? He's just a bloody, Asian dude with his damn t-shirt and shirt and just looking beat up, just standing there looking up, kind of.
Yeah.
The picture is pretty impressive. But basically, yeah, it's all about the elevator, that picture. Great film. Check it out on Shudder. Boom. Loved it. I'd watch it again. Catch some details.
Might have to, because I might have to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You should check it out. Yeah, because good. I get to watch again. All right, what have we seen? Oh, I think it's about that time.
What time?
Ice Pirate time.
Is it?
Maybe.
Is it, or is it Swamp Shark time?
Oof. Man. All right. You dig up Swamp Shark, I'll dig up Ice Pirates.
What do I need to dig up about Swamp Shark?
Director.
All you need to know about Swamp Shark
year
is Christy Swanson's in it. The original Buffy.
What year?
This came out in 2011.
2011, right. All right, that's all we need for that. Boom, time.
The original Buffy. Down on the bayou. Somehow, some way, a shark is mutated where it can live in fresh water and starts killing people.
A big shark, not
Big
one of those,
shark.
not one of those little like bull sharks. It's
One of
like
those big fucking Jaws size sharks.
Like monster between great white Jaws and like Megalodon, one of those size sharks, just stupid size shark. But yeah, the swamp shark shows up. The police chief is trying to make a deal and drops into the damn swamp.
Oh yeah, Robert Davey. Is it Davey or Davy?
Davy.
I
don't know. You recognize?
You'll know him when you see him. He's been in so much, and he plays such an asshole cop.
Yeah, he's always an Italian mobster. Like
he's always a mobster. In this,
guy.
He's like the only guy. Okay, there's some inconsistencies in this film.
Yeah, it's such a low budget. I wonder why.
Like, of the whole family, Christy Swanson's family, only one of them has a Louisiana accent, and that's her brother. Now, Robert Davi's character as the sheriff gets a little bit of a.
He gets a
little drawl, but the only one with a real like Cajun accent is the brother, and then nobody else has a Cajun accent whatsoever. No Cajun at all.
No
just
Louisiana
the one guy. No Louisiana, except for the one guy. And I just love that. And that guy is actually from New Jersey. So the actors, I just came across that. That's great. He does a good job. I think he does a good job.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not an expert on Creole. And if we have any Creole listeners, or Cajun listeners, rather, either way, you'll probably correct me and say, no, he did a terrible job. But I thought I knew where he was supposed to be from, but nobody else, and that was fun. Just the whole thing is just it feels very low budget, like old movies, but the effects were, okay, some of the effects were pretty bad.
No, they're cheap. It's a sci-fi creation, so it's right up there with the Sharknado budget. A little bit lower than Sharknado, but
it was fun, man.
Yeah, Sharknado was the franchise, but everybody else kind of got a little bit more budget off it because shark movies got famous.
Yeah.
And 2011, right about the mid-prime of the Sharknado, so yeah. It was fun. They got
I'm just
Swanson.
glad.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, she's so great.
Yeah, don't hate it. It was fun. It was just like goofy.
I do like a goofy B-movie.
Like the only part that didn't make a dang bit of sense was the first part with the black dude in it, and that made no sense. It's like, that guy's not gonna do that. That guy ain't gonna do that. Like, if you look at the character, he's friendly with everybody. He's just a town drunkie kind of guy.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna do that. So that was a bit exaggerated.
That was weird.
That was an unnecessary kill in my view. But
it was an unnecessary setup for a kill. You could have just had him stagger down there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And it was just like, no, that's just dumb. Like,
yeah.
Like, even after the incident, like, they still got up. It's like, all right, come back inside. And it's like,
Yeah. No,
shady
like,
cop deal made. It's like, yeah, I'll have dinner with you.
Yeah, the cop also, he's obsessed with Christy Swanson's character and wants her to go out with him. So he has like this kind of like trying to bully her into dating him in ways where, like, like there was a fist fight on her property in front of her restaurant. Ain't no way he's arresting people for that.
Nope.
She would have to press charges. I'm sorry. And the guy who was assaulted was just like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
So there's no way on private property.
Yeah, that was a bit reaching for me.
It's just legally that's not the way things work, and I don't care how small your podunk town is.
Yeah.
I've lived in some podunk towns, man, but yeah, okay, there's like I said, there's some inconsistencies in the film, but overall a fun time will be had.
Oh yeah.
If you're
into like shark movies, goofy shark monster movies.
Yeah, dumb young people partying, the whole Jaws thing where it's like, we should evacuate, but we're not gonna.
Yeah. No nudity. I'll say that. No nudity. They drop it to the point it was like, almost see a nipple, but nope, didn't see it.
Nope.
You can think you did, but no, we didn't. We cut it before it got there. It's like, it's sci-fi. Sci-fi. Those guys.
I guess you're right. Sci-fi doesn't really take it all the way to the...
Nope, they don't show boobies.
To the...
They're very, very...
Showtime, HBO Max.
No. They definitely keep it tasty, I guess. Yeah, classy, perhaps.
Tasteful?
Tasteful, that's the word.
No, I wouldn't call this tasteful by a long shot, but they keep it...
From the booby factor, they keep very tasteful.
They keep it...
It's like, oh, that's a good shape. Look at that. But then it's like, no nipple. You think she's got her hand right at the perfect angle.
Right.
Oh, you see enough, but it's like, damn it. Don't see everything. And that's tasteful. That's tricky. It's like, man, all right, I'm going to keep watching. Maybe I'll see something here in a minute. But then it's like, whoa, big shark.
Keep watching because it's a movie.
Or you watch it because it's a movie with a giant shark.
With a giant shark.
In the swamp.
It's not always about boobies, Mike.
Yeah, no. I'm not that kind of guy. It's always about boobies. If that shark had boobies, this has been a damn top 10. But it didn't, so.
Sharks don't nurse their young, so.
Yeah, it's a shortcoming of sharks.
All right. Now, I watched some other movies that you didn't.
But we're going to jump into Ice Pirates, because why not? I made the boys watch this.
Did you? No.
You
made me watch it.
Made you watch it. That was a fun afternoon. Yeah, 1984's Ice Pirates. Comedy, sci-fi, space, pirates.
Was it in space?
It was set in space, yep. The galaxy is short on water. And the only way that, like, most things transfer it from, like, places that have it is in the form of ice. And these guys just pretty much are just pirates raiding these ships, getting the ice, reselling it, making a profit. There's this, what is it? There's this secret planet, which is pretty much Earth, where everybody wants to get there. But it's kind of like the whatever in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy at one planet that has a thing. It's that mythical that the only way to get there is like this certain path. And they eventually get a map, and then there's a whole fucking scene for it. But everybody's trying to get to that planet just where it's just a fucking, you can live there and it's got all the water you need. You don't have to fucking struggle just to have water. But pretty much fucking great stuff. Angelica Houston, Robert Urich, Mary Crosby, Michael D. Roberts, Ron Perlman, John Carradine, John Mustakas. God, he was a great character villain in the 80s and 70s.
Hold on, I was just...
Jeremy West.
I've probably said this on the podcast, at least Mike knows, for real, that I love, like, spy shows from the 80s, so...
And
Robert Urich.
Yeah,
and detective shows, yeah. Oh, yeah, detective shows. So Spencer for Hire, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him so much. That was such a fun thing. Oh, Perlman's so awesome.
Yeah, that was really a great cast of like
Really
at the time, and then like people that just continued to make great works.
Yeah.
And star and shit and be character actors that you remember. But yeah, that was a fun film. I loved Ice Pirates. If you've never seen it, check it out. I don't know where you can see it.
Angelica Houston, babies.
Yep. Oh, Morticia. But director Stuart Raphael. $9 million to make that film. Wow. 84. Jeez, somebody had high hopes for that. I don't know how it did in theaters, but whatever. But yeah, Ice Pirates was a fun one. It had a goofy scene in it where they were sort of time traveling in. It was just dumb as shit, but fun to watch. You have to check it out. Yeah, that's the only thing I do. If you've never seen Ice Pirates, check out Ice Pirates. It's not horror, but it's definitely like a great sci-fi with a lot of crazy bits in it. And if you need to step back and watch something just goofy from the 80s, that's my suggestion. Check that one out. That one's a fine film.
Yeah, it isn't a horror.
No.
It's just a goofy film. All right. Checked off my list.
Boom, boom, boom. All right, what are you thinking?
I was, I deep dove a bit on Curse of the Queer Wolf. Because I didn't know. I watched it and I thought, okay, I don't find this homophobic for me. But, of course, if you look it up online, it's like, is this homophobic? And people are going yes or no, depending on what they think. For me, it was making fun of like hyper masculine men. By basically, you get bit by a queer wolf, and suddenly you are in drag.
Oh yeah.
But these men are and there are a lot of boobies in this. No, actually, there's only one scene with actual boobies. Even like the stripper isn't wearing boobies. Or is clothed. She has boobies, but, she's clothed. But there's all kinds of pornographic images in it. And there are some naked boobies.
What year?
88.
88?
Anyway.
Wow.
This super sleazy guy and his super sleazy friend who are always, like, going out to strip clubs, even though he has a live-in girlfriend and he cheats on her, but he goes to his friend's house to cheat on her because he can't do it in front of her. And the other guy's even more sleazy. And, I mean, as soon as you see his apartment or house or whatever, I mean, it's just like, there's actually, like blown up porno on the walls. Like,
God.
Like, just, that's his decor in his living room. And these guys are just all, completely despicable. But then one of them gets bit.
Oh, no.
By a queer wolf. And all of a sudden can't... Yeah, there are stereotypes here about the queer community, but I think that it's tongue-in-cheek. Like, he can't keep his wrists straight. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, he's, like, in full drag. And meanwhile, they're being chased down by like, a priest... basically, like, a mob, right? Like you would have in any werewolf movie. Only this is just a priest and the dad of this other guy who was bit, who is obviously played by a woman because she has no Adam's apple, interestingly enough.
That's different.
Yeah, she was played by a woman. I did check that out, but I don't remember her name, and I'm not going to tap into my phone. And these two guys who look like kind of mafia thugs. And the mafia thugs, like, everywhere they go, they're carrying a torch. It doesn't matter if they're in a car, if they're inside a restaurant, they're carrying torches.
Mob mentality.
And the way that they cure or kill the queer wolf is by shoving a silver dildo up its ass. So there are all kinds of things that are problematic and offensive about this film. But I think, and the writer and director actually said, yeah, I made this movie to make fun of masculinity, of these like hyper masculine homophobic men. This was no way to make fun of the queer community. And that's the way I took it. It was ridiculous. It was over the top. The one guy is like, the one who's got the porn on the walls is like incredibly incompetent at his job. And it brings into like subtly some social issues of like, what do they call it when they try to ungay you?
Oh, fucking no.
Conversion therapy.
Yeah.
So he is a therapist of some sort, but he's like working with people who like overeat or smoke or have alcoholism, and it's horrible the way he's doing it. And I mean, this is from the 80s, so like the fact that they kind of like tapped into that whole conversion therapy thing and it being useless.
Yeah.
Or even dangerous. I mean, I thought it was kind of like insightful. It made me think of like, the way trauma movies are offensive.
Yeah, offensive, but you can just kind of deal with it.
It's offensive for a reason, because they're trying to make a social
statement.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. Because
the queer Billy was a little bit offensive, but just because that whole...
There's a queer Billy?
Yeah, it's a nightmare figure. Kind of a Deliverance kind of character.
Is it a real character, or is it just like a dream sequence character?
It's a dream sequence character.
Okay.
Because, like I said, this guy is like super. Hey, I'm super heterosis guy.
Okay.
So he is frightened of what's happening to him when he's not in queer wolf mode. At that point, he just becomes fabulous.
Yeah, damn, that's pretty funny.
Weigh in if you've seen it and disagree with my assessment. I don't know. For me, it seemed like the assholes were the straight people, and it was poking fun at people who are afraid of gays.
Mm-hmm. And director Mark Pirro actually played Torchman in it, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah, he wrote it too.
Damn. All right, there we go. $10,000 estimated budget.
Right, I mean, and this is in 1988, and if you remember where we were with the AIDS epidemic in 1988.
Oh, yeah.
This is, like, that's a serious subject, and he handled it with humor to me. I mean, the infection, think about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
1988, and you're talking about queer wolves? Yeah, I think he was making a real social statement there.
That seems fair.
With humor. Honestly, the guy's last name was Smallbutt.
Smallbutt. Yeah, that stuck out. It's like, small butt. That's a small butt sticking out. But yeah, that's pretty fun. Yeah, so that's Curse of the Queer Wolf. Check it out. I don't know. What on the scale, how many chainsaws do you give that film?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It's also a really, really low production quality because this is a very cheap B movie.
$10,000 in '88.
Yeah, it's very like.
We just mentioned like the other like Ice Pirates had like $1 million in budget.
Right,
like,
right.
Yeah.
Steven
Swamp Shark probably had a shit ton.
So I mean, it's grainy. It's yeah. Anyway, yeah. No, I mean, it was provocative.
Well, that's a great term. Yeah, that's a great term. Definitely.
If nothing else, like, you might find it offensive.
But you gotta remember, it's 88, man.
I just had to think...
Scary times.
From where I'm looking at it, I think he was making a real social statement with that. And people say he was homophobic, but the director and writer, but he actually like made the statement, no, that isn't what this is. This is me poking fun at assholes.
That's fair. Way to poke an asshole, buddy. Good for you. But yeah, that's a fun one. Sounds like a fun one. I'm gonna check it out here. I might have my own sub thing. I'm like, yeah, she's right. Werewolf was great. Which is probably what I'll say. Otherwise, I'll say something to point out.
Boobies.
I'm all about some cheap B movies. But I don't know. Let's see. What else we got on the list here? Like we covered Ice Pirates. Thank God. Woo.
We got a lot.
Let's see. Let's do one more because it's an hour in.
How about something we both watched?
So did Colossal.
How about Dark Match?
What was that one again?
The wrestling one.
Oh, Dark. Okay, yeah, that was one. Yeah, Dark Match. That was a 2024, I believe. But yeah, that's also on Shudder. It's one of their exclusive. Yeah, 2024. Yeah, one of their exclusive films they had last year. Basically, like small-time wrestling company. Like, if you're a wrestling fan, and I am a wrestling fan, I don't follow it nearly as much as I did when I was a early 20 guys and all my teenage years. But like in my early 20s and my teenage years, like in the Southeast where we live, like there were probably 6 or 7 different wrestling companies going. So like you had the big one, WCW. Then you had like everybody else that was like associated with it. Like you had them Jim's freaking Productions. Like the guy with the tennis racket, he had his own little outfit. You had like guys from Atlanta that had their little outfit. And they'd occasionally come across each other. But basically, everybody in the area would be running their own little sideshow of wrestling, which is the fun thing about wrestling back then. Is like there were 6 or 8 different companies, like the Southeast Wrestling Organization, and all this. Like in Florida, there was at least 1 or 2. Then Georgia, then South Carolina, North Carolina had a couple. Tennessee, I think, had 1, and then Alabama and the one next to it, Missouri or whatever the hell it is. Like, they had a couple. But basically, all these guys would be, like, running around doing their shows. And every weekend, they'd be doing a wrestling match set up with their stars. And occasionally, this stuff would get on TV. So, like, occasionally one of their stars would sign a contract for a one-show deal and come in and be the wrestling guest on, like, Sunday morning WCW wrestling. And I think WCW had the big deal at the time. They had the Sunday morning wrestling in the 80s. So, like, it was just about WWF, but not quite. And still, it was just all over the place. And that was the fun part about wrestling back then, because it was all over the place. You'd see, like, weird tag teams, and then the next month or 2 later, you'd see that same tag team, but they'd be different characters wrestling for another organization. So, like, one week they'd be, like, the Bushwhackers, and then the year later they'd be the Australian Down Under fucking fuck you team. But the Bushwhackers were the Australian team. I'll say that. That tag team was the Bushwhackers. And they got big in WWF, but I don't know what they did prior to that. But they really had that weird vibe. And all of wrestling was just this hodgepodge of everybody trying to make it, trying to get on TV, trying to catch that Sunday morning slot. And then eventually everything got bigger and better. And then we got Monday night wrestling, because it'd be low budget, whatever. But Monday night wrestling became a thing because, like, there wasn't really much going on Monday night. You watching news, and then news is over. Ted Brokaw talked, and then, all right. Tom. Then there's like, all right, well, now what? Let's watch something dumb. I need to decompress. Let's watch something dumb. Like, wrestling's on. Let's watch wrestling. Let's see what these Southern hicks are up to. And then, boom, there it was. It's like, all right. And then some Northern guys got it. The rednecks got it. The fucking people that like fucking just funny shit got it. And the man's storytelling began. The man's soap opera started.
All right, so back to the movie. Dark match.
Go.
Dark match. It's about wrestling. It's about what do you call that? Like an independent wrestling troupe, I guess.
Just what I was describing, yeah.
Yeah, one of those little things. They get invited for a lot of money to go to some wrestling match in the middle of nowhere. And it gets dark. It gets pretty satanic. And it gets pretty real. Not the fake wrestling that you see on TV. But Chris Jericho plays the main... basically the guy who runs the compound where they're going to be performing their fights. That's the one, like, actual kind of celebrity in the film. There's a couple of people who I've seen in a couple things. Stephen Ogg was in that one episode of Stand Against Evil that I love, the Curse of the Werepony.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, then Jonathan Cherry's in it, and he was in Wolf Cop, but I can't remember who he was. A character in Wolf Cop. So people who have, I mean, they're not maybe famous, but yeah. Aisha Issa is the main character. Misbehave is her stage name. Do they call it stage name? I keep using theater terms because I'm not a wrestler.
That's not wrong.
I'm a theater kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was very violent. It had some good storytelling. You kind of see where it's gonna go, kind of early on, but you know, like the people and their relationships and stuff are really clear. Like, who's what? Actually, Jonathan Cherry was their manager, right, in this movie. God, he was a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Managers are dicks.
Yeah, the managers are
across the board.
Generally dicks because they have to force this dumb issue.
The only time I remember a manager not being a dick, it hasn't been made into a film yet, but in that Grady Hendrix novel, Horror Store. Although he is a dick most of the time. At the end of the day, he's just a good manager.
Yeah.
Like, he's a dick in that he's a manager and he's a micromanager. But, like, is he going to throw his employees under the bus? No, that's a good manager. And we've all had a good manager. Well, I think most of us have at least at some point or another had a good manager. They're not all corrupt as fuck. They're not all going to fucking, sell you down the river. So, but yeah, in that particular film, you don't really feel a lot of compassion for the manager.
No, yeah. The manager was, kind of a dick. But as far as managers go, like, the South has had a lot of dumbass managers, but they were always that same kind of smarmy white guy, just blasting, just loud, obnoxious. That's what the manager did. And he just exaggerated his damn guys. Yeah, well, that wasn't this guy's character. But he definitely set them all up because he's the one that knew how to set up the damn matches. So he set them up. Yeah, but he also was duped. He got totally duped. Yeah. And into, he didn't know what he was getting into. Yeah, that was not his fault in that factor. Yeah. But yeah. I'm just going to say, if you watch this, it's on Shudder. It's pretty obvious. It's like a kind of a satanic sacrifice thing. Yeah. Yeah. But and they get some things about paganism really fucking wrong in this film. I want to add that in as a pagan. Like, really fucking wrong. Come on, man. I hate it. I hate it with the I'm not hating on Satanists. Some of them are very good people, but this type of Satanist, when they appropriate pagan rituals and they just take it too far. Yeah. It was goofy. The neon, like the black light of that entire thing was just too much.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's meant to be taken too seriously.
No.
So we're not going to do that.
Yeah, that was a fine wrestling film. The ending was fun. I was like, oh, okay, really? That's how it's going to go down? All right, fair enough. I think they may have it, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big foe. But, like, beyond that, it's all good. It's definitely, like, it plays into the whole... It gets the Southern wrestling history pretty accurate, like how everybody's just struggling to get by and running. Because, like, I looked it up. I was trying to figure out the managers' names, and they were famous in the up-and-coming, the other leagues, like all the little productions. They called them productions. Like Jim Cornette was the guy with the tennis racket. He was just loudmouth. He fucking hated his guts. But every once in a while, like, he'd be having a match, and, like, he'd have his tennis racket and just clock somebody, and then that'd be the deciding factor of the match. It's like, you hit somebody with a tennis racket, and you're that uppity kind of, like, money guy. So, like, you're that guy. Because who has a tennis racket in the South? What the fuck?
Right.
In the fucking early 80s. It's like this guy. But that guy was him. And he was a loudmouth manager, and he's funny. But just a total heel. Absolute good heel. Absolute play the best bad guy kind of guy. But the other one was like another heel manager. But he stood out because he was always the flashiest motherfucker. Scrawny as shit. Beard. Big ass sunglasses. And his name was Jimmy Hart. The mouth of the South.
Oh my god.
That's all you need to hear.
That's a great.
He'd carry on a fucking the megaphone. And it'd be all white with hearts on it. And he'd just be fucking yelling at people through that megaphone.
Bedazzled megaphone.
No, yeah, just stickers back then. But yeah, that was before bedazzling. And he'd just wear these outlandishly bright fucking suits. And just scrawny as shit, skinny guy. But like mouth of the South. And eventually, like, they were all bought up by old Ted Turner.
Just bright like neon or bright like Glenn Campbell?
Oh, man, that's... let's see. I'll just pull up some images. Okay. And then, yeah, there you go. You can decide. But that's Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South.
Okay.
Yeah. And sleazy as shit looking.
His own image on the back of his jacket.
Great stuff. Totally him.
What a mullet.
That too. Yeah, he had a
feathered mullet.
Owned it too. But yeah, that was like the wrestling era that I grew up in. Like that guy was like always running around with somebody, owning, like wrestling some guys, managing some bad guys and some heels, and occasionally getting wins, getting belts for a week or two, then losing the belts, and then stuff like that. But it was just fun times. It's like these guys would win, that guy would win, then the store would go on.
Was he a failed musician by any chance? Because I noticed a piano tie here and piano lapels on this.
Apparently he was a musician and a songwriter and something, so...
Okay.
So it's in his Wicca, but I don't know, man. That's Jimmy Hart.
Oh.
But yeah, he's still around. He's like 81, though. In the early, mid-2000s, he signed a legacy deal with WWF. Or so E now.
He was out of Memphis? I'm sorry, is this guy beside him like a circus geek eating the head off of a raw chicken?
Could be. Could not be. Yeah, definitely eating the chicken.
Raw?
Yeah, eating a raw chicken. But, yeah. That was his thing.
I mean, a true circus geek would be eating the head off of a live chicken.
But, yeah, this is made for TV.
Right.
Man Mountain Link. Look at his drawn-on eyebrows, though.
I know.
Man Mountain Link.
Who did their eyebrows like that in cinema, famously?
He's got a damn 666 Black Sabbath shirt on, though, so
other than
there.
Blackula, which that guy is obviously not. But no, there was some sci-fi character with eyebrows like that. Hit me with it from the 70s. I can't think of who it was, but I can picture him.
Yeah, but... Yeah, the Southern wrestling scene in the early 80s, through the 80s was amazing. Then it became all super glamorified when, like, the WWF bought everybody out.
Yeah.
They went through and just bought everybody's contracts, just bought all the production companies, and then just brought everybody in. Kind of unified it. The WCW was still the major, but WWE was, like, when it got really ridiculous. Because World Championship Wrestling was the hotbed of everything, And that's where everybody came from. There wasn't anybody from the Pacific Northwest or West or Midwest.
Yeah, it definitely was not a big thing in the Pacific Northwest. I can tell you that, having grown up there. Like, if I had one friend whose dad watched wrestling, and we were all embarrassed by it. He also watched monster trucking quite a bit.
Oh, that shit's
And,
so good.
Was kind of a layabout drunk Jehovah's Witness. I know Jehovah's Witnesses are supposed to do those things, but
There he was.
I believe they got excommunicated after a point. But then they won the lottery, and bought a Pizza Hut. Legend has it.
Wow, that is damn legendary, buying a Pizza Hut with your winnings.
Right?
I want to work.
Right? That is such a fucking thing for somebody who is just like laying on the couch, drinking Bud Light, watching professional wrestling and monster trucking, wins the lottery, gets excommunicated from Jehovah's Witness Church, from their Kingdom Hall or whatever, and then buys a Pizza Hut. Just one.
Just one franchise, and there's his life's works.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. That's America, baby.
Yeah.
It's about as
It
American as
is.
it gets.
It is. They were an interesting family. I remember a very tragic thing happened because he also fished.
Oh, no.
He was a man's man.
You say fishing and tragedy.
Fishing
there's
and
so many
tragedy.
fucking
Well,
bad
they had a parrot.
things. Oh.
Can you see where this is going?
They went catfishing with the parrot?
No. He left his little. What are those little?
The
balls?
lead weights?
The lead weights.
Yeah.
Died of lead poisoning.
That's miserable. That is sad, though.
That was sad. We were all sad about the parrot.
Yeah, that's just a tragic way to go. Yeah, that's why you gotta take care of your lead
Take
weights,
care
people.
of your damn fishing equipment, yo.
Watch out, because birds will pop that up and chew it up and think
It's
it's a
something
stone.
shiny.
And they'll eat it thinking it's a damn stone to help
Yeah.
digest. So
Yeah.
it's the perfect size. So fishing tip, make sure your lead weights are under your control. Don't fuck around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been fishing history. And we're calling that 117. Boom. Oh, all right. Let's wrap this up. That's
Okay.
pretty good. We covered quite a bit. We've given
We
them
did.
words. We need to drop Sinners so like people get in the theaters and check out Sinners. For fuck's sakes. That shit's so good.
Yeah, it was. Woo-ha.
If you got that damn crossroads itch that you need damn itched,
Scratched.
yeah, then do it. Don't sign deal with Scratch, but definitely damn go check it out. Scratch that itch. Because that is a fine film. I look forward to seeing what he does next. Hopefully it's more like this, not more like damn Black Panther and Wakanda, which are great films, but I want to see something more like this now. It's like, okay. He said,
I want to see your original stuff.
I see.
You
set the bar pretty high for yourself.
Creed is part of the franchise, right? It's Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed, yeah. Apollo Creed's song.
And Black Panther is obviously franchise. So I want to, some more original stuff. Now that he's got his foot in the door. But I mean, it takes that in Hollywood sometimes.
Yeah, but he's like damn Peel. Peel's got his foot in the door. He can do what he's got a budget that he can do whatever he wants to. He's just got to come up with something to do now.
Whatever he wants.
Just doesn't have it though. He's just kind of like in this like, whew. All right, now what? He's just kind of in that.
Does he not have anything in the works? I haven't
seen anything in his works at all. So Jordan Peele's just kind of like,
I bet he does.
He's just sitting there.
I bet he does. I bet he's ready to give us the razzle dazzle.
Can't wait.
Any day.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Haven't looked, haven't seen anything on Dread Central or anywhere, so no, nothing in Fangoria, so it's off the radar. He's just chilling.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go run through the scandal sheets to check it out, but
I will. Anyway. Yeah, but that, that's where we saw the article about Sinners to begin with was in this most recent issue of Fangoria. I was like, oh. I also have a nice little piece in there about black vampires in general.
Yeah.
And all the history of black vampires in cinema.
Eternal Darkness. Article title.
Which is a little cheesy, but
very. Well, you expect that with Fangoria a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, if you get a chance to pick up that, read that. It's a great article. It describes a lot of damn things, and it gives you a bucket list of great films to check out. If you haven't seen them, we've talked about it on the show, but yeah, always, goddamn, go check out Ganja and Hess. That shit's fucking awesome.
It's slow. It's but it's an art film. So I mean, it's an art film, but it's still fucking Dwayne Jones, man, legend.
Yep. But that's all we got for this episode of the Chainsaw Bar. It's been fun, entertaining, and informative. This is episode 105, which I'm just going to call Sinners. And that's it. That should wrap it up nice. But yeah, that was a fun thing.
You should come up with something more clever than just Sinners.
I might come up with something. It's never going to be as fun as like some of my other titles. But
yeah, it's true. But you can't just, what if Jordan Peele just gave up after coming up with something brilliant?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, no. All right, that's all we got for this episode. We thank y'all for listening. Social distance. People still spit when they talk. It's gross. There's still germs out there. Flus, colds, crap. We're moving to hay fever season.
We're in hay fever season.
Yeah. We're currently in a blackberry winter in the Appalachian angle of the thing. Because the blackberries are in bloom, man. The temperatures dropped to the fucking 40s. This is bullshit. It was all 80s yesterday. This is horseshit. It was all 80s and 50s and shit, and 60s in the mornings. Now it's in the 40s.
It was like 69 yesterday afternoon, and this morning at like 6:30 it was 47.
Yeah, so it's chilly. And it's moved chilly in the last couple of days. And then I looked at the bushes outside on our driveway. They're all blackberries, and they're all in bloom. Cute. Fucking real cute little bastards. So we're in blackberry winter. Calling it delicious when they bloom. And that's where we are in Appalachia.
When they ripen.
In western North Carolina, we're in blackberry winter. In a month or so, we'll have some blackberries. Delicious.
No, we won't. We won't have blackberries until summer.
A month or so will be summer, dude. They'll be early
blackberries
June.
in June?
Maybe.
I get climate change, y'all. They've actually changed our planting zone.
Weird.
We've actually gone down a planting zone. We used to be zone 7. We are now zone 6.
Fascinating.
I don't even know what to do with that information.
It's so a misgiving. It's just, oof. I don't even know.
Can you plant tomatoes before Mother's Day?
Shouldn't.
Are we going to try?
Is it risky? Is it worth the risk?
I mean, since we're in a different planting zone.
That's what the government says. That's what the old farmer's almanac saying that?
I don't know. Russell told me.
Right.
I don't know where he got the information, but he got it somewhere. I don't think he pulled it out of his ass.
You better not be tossing damn bones, figuring I should have that little weasel. But anyway, that's our episode for this episode, and episodes over. Episodes. 105. Deal with it. Matt, you got anything to send us off with or share with our listeners that you want to make sure that's told?
Nope.
All right, that's it. We thank y'all for listening on 3 vroom. 1, 2, 3 vroom. Y'all take care. Have fun washing them dishes and doing your chores.
Call your mama.
What?
I said call your mama.
Call your mama. Yep, definitely. Cheers.
Happy Mother's Day.
Definitely. Oh yeah, happy Mother's Day.